Greetings of peace and love to all my Aries out there. Want to send a shout out to all of my 13 signs of astrology Aries out there. Now, before I get into this episode and segment, I just want to kind of like lay a foundation and let all the newcomers and new listeners know that I'm a 13 signs astrologer. And basically, what I do is that I align your birth date and your time of birth up with the actual star constellation that you were born under. Now, it's a lot of astrologers out there that do Western astrology, and in Western astrology, they more so go off of a set of dates that were created or that were put together based upon the alignments of the stars over 2,000 years ago. But over time, things shift, and you talk about like the precession of the equinoxes and stuff like that. So over time, things shift. So when things shift, it causes different constellations to shift and move based upon the degrees that they are making with the earth, or based upon the alignment that it makes with the earth. So what I basically do is, and what I did as far as me getting into it, 13 signs of astrology, was is that I decided to start doing readings based upon the actual constellations and based upon the alignment that your soul makes at the time of birth, or at the time of that you started to breathe here on this planet. And that's very important. It's very important because it really changes a lot of your energy when you start to look at yourself. You're naturally your 13 sign. Like, you might identify with another sign because you might identify with Western astrology, but you're naturally your 13 signs of astrology sign. Like, you're naturally your makeup, your build. When you get into the science of medical astrology, you'll find that your sign dictates how you look, your makeup and your build. So your very makeup, identifies you as to what sign you really are and separates you. So your Aries, your particular Aries, let me get into that energy. Now, first of all, Aries starts, as far as the 13 signs zodiac, Aries would start around April the 19th, and it goes up until May the 13th. So it goes from April the 19th to May the 13th. And anybody born up under that particular time will be a 13 signs Aries, ruled by the Ram. So the first thing you know when you look at the Ram is that the head, because Aries represents the head when you get into medical astrology. So Aries usually have a unique head, a unique structure, a very bold looking head. You know what I'm saying? Like the ram or whatever. Like some of them, even you even see the horns. You know what I'm saying? Like just like the ram has or whatever. So Aries represents the head. First of all, now Aries is ruled by Mars as far as the planet that rules it, because each sign is ruled by a particular planet. So Aries is ruled by Mars, and Mars represents male energy. It represents ambition. It represents positive energy. And when you look at the symbol for Mars, you'll see like a circle, and then you'll see like an arrow coming out of it. It looks like an erect penis, because Mars represents masculine or primitive, really, energy coming from the lower chakras or the red region areas. So coming from energy from below the navel and up. That's the I guess you could say the sexual energy, all the energy that's below the navel, your animal appetite. That's all represented by Mars. But that also goes into ambition, strength, and drive. So this gives Aries a very independent streak. They're go-getters. Like, Aries is the type of sign that they're going to start something and they're going to finish it. They're very outspoken. They don't allow people to dictate what they do and control them. They're going to control the situation. So Aries is very much a strong fire sign. Strong fire sign. Now, as far as like some of the Aries females, a lot of times you get into looking at astrology and they say that the Aries females are a bit masculine, because of the fact that they're ruled by that Mars or whatever. And a lot of the Aries females, they take on the masculine polarity, or the positive polarity, is like what it really is as far as taking charge and being ambitious. So like a lot of the Aries females, you'll find them working like in government, and some of them are singers. I mean, they're not afraid to hit the stage. They're not afraid to step up and take the forefront or whatever. So like a lot of your divas are Aries females or whatever. So the Aries females is very interesting too. I mean, a lot of times it's hard for Aries to hold on to money, as far as with money and things like that, because Aries is a fire sign, so they have to learn the lesson of money, because Aries will spend some money quick or whatever. Like, they'll blow some money, especially the Aries female though. Like, they'll max out their credit card real quick, you know what I'm saying, and not really too well with money, but over time they do learn the discipline and they do learn to manage their money. Now you have different phases of Aries. You got the first degree of Aries, which is like the first, because Aries is divided up into about 24 degrees and 13 signs of astrology according to the zodiac. So, and this is according to the actual zodiac that's in the sky that includes the 13th sign. So Aries is mapped out into about 24 degrees. So when you divide it into the three different degrees, or the three different decans of Aries, there's three different decans of Aries. And the first 8 degrees is the first decan. So these are your more Aries that were born up under more primitive Aryan energy, and they need to learn the lessons of controlling their ambitions and their desires and things like that, and making their ambitions and desires serve them and work for them, instead of them falling into and falling victim to their ambitions and their desires and their animal appetite. Because like really a lot of the Aries, you have a hard time getting, you can get them to become vegan because they're very smart, but it's hard or whatever for them because of the fact that they have that more so that animal appetite. So they have to master that lower chakra before they can really raise their energy up. But once you get an Aries to raise their energy up, you dealing with a force, a spiritual force to be reckoned with, because Aries are represented by a tomb ray, a tomb ray. So Aries represents the rising sun, like according to ancient Egypt. So you get an Aries to get their energy going or whatever. I mean, you dealing with a bright light, you dealing with an intelligent being, dealing with like an illuminated being. So that's basically like dealing with as far as like how you interpret the particular males and females of Aries. And I want to get into the deacon. So you have the first deacon, which is those particular Aries that are born within the first 8 days of Aries. So which is around what, April the 19th up until about April the 27th. That's the first particular uh, deacon of Aries. So those are your first stage Aries, or level 1 Aries. Then you got the phase 2 Aries that are born after the 27th on up until the about May the 4th. So that's your second degree Aries. And your second degree Aries, they're more so ruled by the sun. So these are your more, they've already mastered the lesson, like as far as in their solar blueprint, they've mastered the lessons of the more primitive aspect of Aries, and they're more so trying to shine. Those particular Aries that are born after the 27th, so they're more so trying to shine and learn how to work with people and in cooperation with people, so that they can take the Aryan energy and make it shine. Because a lot of Aries, they hold themselves back, like from really getting a lot of recognition, because they're very combative a lot of times, and sometimes they'll argue and take the stance in a situation and end up losing a lot of credibility. You know what I'm saying? So Aries, they got to really watch their energy. But the second degree Aries, they're a little bit more polished. They're a little bit more noble because they represent the solar energy. Then you got the third degree Aries, or the third phase Aries, and they're represented by Jupiter. So these are very fortunate Aries, very intelligent Aries. They're very much warriors, but they know when to take up the sword, when not to. The third degree Aries are a force to be reckoned with, definitely, especially in the business arena and the financial arena. Most of your Aries, they end up becoming entrepreneurs. They're business minded because it's hard for them to really work for people. So if you're an Aries, business is really the field for you. Like if you're watching this video and you're Aries, I mean, I don't care what kind of Aries you are, really, you're best in the business field because you're proactive and you got the ambition and you got what it takes to get things going. Now, a lot of Aries, they might not stick around a lot of times when they start things because they're idea people. They just keep making ideas, coming up with ideas. Like Aries are your idea men and women. So like Chris Brown is the Aries. They're warriors too. Chris Brown, he's a great performer. He's an Aries. Aries are great performers. Then you have The Rock. He's an Aries. The Rock is really great, and he's very athletic, of course. You know what I'm saying? So even you just look at these cats, Chris Brown and The Rock, and look at their face structure and their head, you'll see the Aryan energy, not the Taurus energy. I'm going to do a video on Taurus, and a lot of these Aries think they're Taurus. I mean, a lot of these Aries think they're Taurus or whatever. So you're not a Taurus, you're an Aries. And a lot of people get mad at Ram Hotep because, you know, you may have got a tattoo on your arm, or with the bull on your arm. You're like, well, I'm a Taurus and I'm identifying with that, and that's cool if you want to identify with that. But again, I'm lining you up with what you are by nature, with what nature made you. Like, this is your natural sign. What you think you are is okay, but a lot of times your thoughts don't line up with nature. Nature is in a state of being. Nature doesn't really care what you think or who you think you are. It's about lining up with what you truly are. And I really, from doing these readings, this is not a sales pitch. Like, I mean, from doing these readings, I really know that the 13 signs, it, like the descriptions more so resonate with people. as far as when they really are honest with themselves and forget about the Western side, the descriptions really more so resonate with people if you just take the time and lose your ego and really just look at it for what it is or whatever. So now in astrology, they do have a science in astrology called progressive astrology, and I do a video on that. So we do progress into another sign. So as an Aries, you will progress into Taurus. You will progress into that energy. Like as you get older, you'll start to become more of the Taurus, more business minded. You stick to your goals and things like that. So you'll become less impatient. And the younger Aryan energy, you'll grow out of that energy and become more stable, like the Taurus. So you do outgrow the energy or whatever of different signs as we progress. If you are really doing your soul's mission and you really are function in your incarnation correctly, you do outgrow these particular tendencies, because that's all they are, tendencies. But that's my video on Aries. I promised I was going to do it. What more can I say about it? It's a positive, it's rooted in the positive polarity. So it's a masculine sign, as I said, fire sign, and it's a cardinal sign. So which means they're go-getters. They're very pivotal on the zodiac. So, and Aries is not the spring equinox. Like a lot of people think the spring equinox is Aries, but Aries, the spring equinox is really in Pisces. So that's the interesting thing about it or whatever. So keep that in mind, keep that knowledge in mind, keep researching the dates and signs and looking at the different zodiacs, because the Eastern Sidereal Zodiac backs me up as well, because it's very close to the 13 sign zodiac. So the Eastern Sidereal Zodiac, check that one out as well, because they represent Aries at the right time as well. So, well, close to the right time. So, and I'll do a video on Eastern Sidereal astrology as well, so in the near future. So thank you all for listening and watching. It's my video on Aries, and until we meet again, I'll leave you in peace, love, and light.